Well, when the glass house were new, the span roof one was built when in 1938. That was just before the war. So the tomatoes in there were brilliant. And so in the other house too, they were good. And during the war, we sold them from the house here. Every day, people had a list. Maybe you might remember that, Linda. You don't remember that?
Afraid not, no.
Maybe just before your time.
Uh-huh.
People used to come down and we had a list of all their names, you see, and they'd come down on a Wednesday and we knew we had to have 36 pound of tomatoes, and they came down for their pound of tomatoes and all this sort of thing. So we sold a lot from the house during the war.
So this is the Second World War. So did the Second World War affect what you were growing?
Yes, well, you grew more vegetables than the flowers, you know. We grew their tomatoes, and what I was coming to was, you can start in 1938 with the greenhouse when it was built, and it's new soil. But when you start putting tomatoes in year after year after year, you start getting problems. Plants don't like that. And after the war was finished, we'll say 10 years, that was 1948, I started in 1950, they were okay up to 1950. About 1952, there was a plant in the one lean-to greenhouse, and it had wilt. It was 5 feet high, and all of a sudden it took wilt. Well, we dug it out, we looked at the root, and there was nothing eating the root. And that was the start of it. And what the other growers in round about in the small holdings did, they got the steam sterilised the ground. They got a boiler in and they dug up the ground and they put tubes in, perforated tubes, and then covered it all up with tarpaulin, got the steam boiler going, pressurised the ground and steam sterilised the ground. But we couldn't do that because we couldn't get a boiler anywhere near the greenhouse. So it wasn't very good after that. And what we did, we took a trench out in the middle of the greenhouse, either side, and we put soil in, and we planted our tomatoes in there, and it worked fine. But we didn't put so many. We didn't have so many, so we grew zinnias next the wall, next to pipes. We had 2 rows of zinnias on either side. And they sold very well.
What about the grapevine, John?
Oh, we just planted that for ourselves 1 year, and it was good. It's a beautiful vine, good fruit, great big black grapes, lovely.
What did you do with them? You didn't
We
make
ate them. We ate them. No, it was good. But the thing was, what really jiggered us up was the price of coal. The price of the fuel got more and more and more, and it got to the point where it wasn't feasible, because your crop, we always sowed our tomatoes between Christmas and New Year, and then you grew them on until February. We planted them into the ground by the end of February. Now, you know, a lot of heat to heat those greenhouses, because remember, it's all very well putting a thermometer up here 5 feet off the ground, but that's not where the plant is. The plant's down on the ground. Put the thermometer down there and see the temperature. And so you had to really keep 60 up above, you know, to get 45, 50 down there. And it took a lot of coal, and it got to the point where it wasn't worth it. I mean, we did need the heat for our chrysanthemum cuttings, and we also grew dahlias. We took cuttings off dahlia tubers and we rooted them, and we sold them in little whalehide pots. So people could get a dahlia, 2 dahlia plants in the whalehide pot, not just a wee tuber that might grow or something. Wee beastie might eat the shoot off it. They had a plant, so we sold a lot of them. And then when the coal got dearer and dearer, we just had to cut it out. And then we got in 1970, the government gave a subsidy to put oil burners in. And we got the subsidy, and it was okay. At the beginning it was fine. I can't remember exactly what the price of the oil was, but it was reasonably cheap. It was cheap. It was cheaper than the coal. But then the price of the oil started to rise, and that thing could burn 2.5 gallons an hour. Now, it's not litres, a gallon, and 2.5 gallons. So again, it proved too expensive. But what we did with that, we gave it a burst in the middle of the night. We put it on a timer, and it could start up maybe at 2 o'clock in the morning, burn till 4 o'clock, and it kept a good bit of temperature. So it was quite good. But again, it got too expensive.